some phenomenal years. Obviously, stick out in my mind 2010, 2012, but all 4 of those years just very, very strong. Mike always alluded to some of the things that you guys did that you like playing on like the concrete and this and that. Were those like things that like you picked up from other people, or just things that you found that worked well as far as like the articulation of playing on concrete versus like a snare drum head, that sort of thing?
I remember doing that a lot, especially with that line that year, and a couple of years at Blue Stars they did that. It was honestly just kind of experimenting live, just like I distinctly remember like drumming and like, dude, it was like the sound is not right. Like everybody just sounds pinched. Like we're not getting the resonance that we want. And like the snare zone where the Bluecoats would always have their snare sectionals at, there's like these concrete steps. And it's just one of those like, everybody just sit down, just grab sticks. Let's work this out right now. And it was just one of those like on the fly, let's just see what happens and let's try to find a better way to get the sound of what we wanted. And then we did that for a while. I remember doing that and experimenting with like, all right, squeeze the sticks, relax the sticks. Let's do these different exercises and breakdowns. And then we're like, all right, everybody just get up, get on the drum right now. Don't think about anything. Just do the same thing you just did. And it was like daylight. Like you just hear it. As soon as everybody started drumming, you're like, yep, that's the sound. That's what we need. We need more of that in like 2.5 months from now in August. We need to start doing that now.
Well, honestly, like that concrete drumming was probably the most beneficial thing that I did that entire summer in terms of sound quality, because my whole drumming career, I learned from an old school cadet in high school. So a lot of pinching, a lot of not neutral hand, not a lot of vibration going on. Exactly. And so, and I've kind of bigger hands. So I've always had a very heavy, dark sound. So you combine those. So I know I had like overbalancing issues on and off throughout that tour, but honestly, the concrete drumming was what was the difference maker for me. Like I, if I'm being honest, like I don't know if I would have ever figured out how to drum like that, like we did without that concrete drumming. Because then you go back to the drum and you feel the stick vibrate so much, and your hands are so open. And it was like light bulbs going off. And even when we didn't do it in rehearsal, I did that on my own, like between blocks when I knew my hands were like tight or heavy, and it just worked wonders. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's, you see a lot of people now doing different things. Like, you see a lot of the Paul Rennick crews, like those guys are drumming on anything they can possible.
Uh-huh.
See a lot of groups just drumming on different things. We've experimented with using like drum set sticks. Like, all right, let's play some drum set sticks and let's do some stick control exercises with this. And like, you just learn more about getting the stick to do the things it needs to do without you getting in the way, and like learning how to get the resonance to happen, and then transitioning that onto the drum. And like, there's different ways to do it, but it is very cool. And like I said, it's very enlightening. It's like you get back on the drum and you're like, oh my God, this feels different.
Mm-hmm.
Probably feels like you're drumming on butter after playing on concrete.
Dude,
it's like, it was like when you can learn how to open up your hands and not pinch on concrete, which you probably have to do in order to get it to produce.
Oh yeah.
And then you get on like Kevlar that's not overtuned or not cranked, which we'll get into later, but it just probably feels like so good. So
yeah,
I love it.
That was fun. And that was a fun summer. That was the 12 crew was a good group of guys. Like I got very fortunate, and we had easy guys to work with to start, and then we just kept running from there on out.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that was actually the last drum line I was ever in. I didn't do my college band after that. I had 2 seasons of Rhythm X left. Like I kind of just hung it up after that summer.
Well, it could be a worse way to go out.
Exactly.
There could be a worse way to go
out. On worse notes than that summer.